It's now Sunday, Sunday, February 16. And you're inside of the Africa Forum, Running African. It's a day of We Sumthing. All roads heading to Portland this morning Jacob Caruthers in the book The Irritated Genie, an essay on the Haitian Revolution, talked about Bookman and Bookman's prayer. Don't know how many of us really know and have read Bookman's prayer. But Bookman's prayer in part reads, "Good God, who created the sun which shines on us from above, who rouses the sea and makes the thunder rumble, listen. God, though hidden in a cloud, watches over us. The God of the white man calls forth crime, but our God wills the good works. Our God, who is so good, commands us to vengeance. He will direct our arms and help us. Throw away the likeness of a white man's God, who has so often taught us and brought us tears. And listen to liberty, which speaks in all our hearts." And Caruthers says that this evocation on the night of a celebration of the voodoo spirit Ogun, the god of war, was more than a call to arms. He said it was even more a summation of a historical experience of the blacks on the island of Saint-Domingue, and indeed the diaspora in general. At that time, Caruthers says, this prayer was not a mere ideological statement. It was all these, but more importantly, it was the expression of an Afrocentric worldview. He said that in articulating the God of the white man, that the God of the white man calls forth crime, but our God wills good works, Bookman was asserting that a white culture and black culture were diametrically opposed to each other. That is, the motive force of the white culture, as embodied in its concept of God, inspires one to crime. That is brutal exploitation of a human being, slavery, plunder, destruction of nature, lust for power and wealth, and pathological impulse to master everything. Throw away the symbol of the God of the whites, he was saying. And Caruthers goes on to say, as long as the motive force for blacks' revolt was initiation of that success syndrome, revolution was impossible. Thus, throw away the image of the God of the whites, who has so often brought us to tears, was a demand and warning to those blacks who had been given privileged positions relative to the masses of the blacks. Those who were impressed and motivated by those phantom of individuals. And I read Jacob Caruthers because we're thinking about not just the white God, but even the way we are approaching our own problems, so that we do not identify our problems within the identity context, within the African identity context, within the context of asking, who am I? Who are we? So think about it. Graduation coming up in a few months. Let us look at the high schools. Let us look at the traditional high schools. Let us look at the non-traditional high schools and ask ourselves, just picture that on the morning of graduation, that the doors of the schools are thrown open. Just picture this. How many fifth forms do we have in a school? Any given school right now. And how many students in those fifth forms? 5, 6, 7 fifth forms in some schools, sometimes more. 40 or 50 students to a class. Throw open the doors of any school in Jamaica right now that's going to be graduating fifth formers. Let us look at the boys and girls who are running through those doors into society, who are going to be graduating. Let us look at the numbers. Picture this in your mind. Close your eyes if you have to, but picture this. Look at every high school in Jamaica, every single high school. Do you know these children? Have you seen them? Have you heard them? Do you know where they're going? Do you know what they're going to be doing? How many of them do you really know? How many of them are our children? How many are leaving with 9 and 13 CXC? And how many are leaving without any? How many are going to be placed or find or be able to create a job? How many? How many? How many are going to be going into university, into colleges? How many? Do you know them? This has been happening for quite some time now in Jamaica. This is not just about the cohort that's going to be graduating in June coming. Let us think about the many who have graduated in the last 7 years. Where are they? Who are they? What have they done with themselves and with their lives? And then let us look at the teachers' colleges across Jamaica. And how many teachers' colleges do we have? There is a freeze on public sector work, employment. That includes teachers. How many teachers graduated last year? How many will graduate this year? How many graduated the year before? Where are they now? What are they doing? And how are they doing? And we'll talk about the universities. We have to talk about the universities. So that it appears to me that we are ignoring and we have neglected as a country entire generations of youth. So we have not, and we are not making, as a nation, we're not making this a better place for the next 2 generations, 3 generations. No, as a nation, that's not happening. So regardless of how much we talk, regardless of how many, or we quote the figures and the statistics, we are walking in the communities. We're seeing our little girls and our little boys. We're seeing our teenagers. And we know that they are being neglected. So how do we do this? We must be part of the change, and we ourselves must be the change that we want to see. How do we begin to do that? Are we going to continue to be shocked about the escalating crime situation in Jamaica? Or are we going to do something? And not just do something, because yes, it's good for us to do, but it's also good for us to demand of the state that the strategy that they're using be reviewed and revised and be changed. It's not working. It's not working. What is the value of black life in Jamaica? What is the value of black life in Jamaica? What is the value of black life in Jamaica? In the history books and in the integrated science books, there are now new courses that are teaching our children about identity. And so that if your child goes to school and it's a multiracial school, there is this, and you say, wow, not bad. Whether it's a multiracial school or not. Listen to this. So these books, they talk about, and they teach children, they're teaching them from a very early age, about China, about Asia, about India, and about the different types of peoples that make up the world, yeah? And so they talk about the Chinese Jamaican. In these books, they identify China and they identify the Chinese Jamaicans. They identify India and they identify the Indian Jamaican. They identify Africa, but they do not identify the African Jamaican. They identify the Jamaican. Part of our problem is the way we are denying and have denied ourselves our identity. And those who write the curriculum and those who are responsible for selecting the textbooks and for reviewing the textbooks, and the teachers who stand in front of the children must understand that if our children do not belong, if we do not assist them to understand who they are, to place them as we have placed the Chinese Jamaican and the Indian Jamaican, and given them countries outside of Jamaica and given them continents, and securing for them a motherland and a fatherland, and tying their history to their own glorious past. That if we do not do this for African Jamaicans, if we're not doing this in the primary schools and the prep schools and the high schools and the universities and the churches and the social institutions, if we're not doing this, then we're in essence saying to our children that they are nobody, that they do not belong. Because to be Jamaican is to only be a citizen, national citizen. You have not, for that young one, identified his race. Race matters. In a global society where race matters, race matters. So it can't be just us who think about and who are happy to say that until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior. It can't be just us who are saying that. Because until that philosophy is no more, then we have to ensure that we understand who we are within that philosophy, so as to protect ourselves, so as to protect our children. Race matters. It matters where we anchor our children. It matters how we anchor ourselves. Identity is important. And we have to get beyond slavery. We have to move beyond slavery. Slavery was an interruption. Our history goes all the way back to the ancient civilizations. We are creators and innovators and physicians and architects and builders. We must teach our children that. We have lots and lots of comments out of the program, but you can probably hear it. I am more than concerned. I am more than angry. This is not righteous indignation. This for me is a moment in which we stand where we are and ask ourselves, what is the end result of where we are? What is the end of this? The extent to which our children are killing us. The extent to which our husbands are killing us. The extent to which our wives are killing us. The extent to which we have turned on each other. What is the value? How come it is so easy? What happened to our youth? And where did it happen? What did you do? I call upon every single politician, first of all, to take a stand against criminals and criminal behavior. I want to say this, and I want to say it loud and clear, that no politician in Jamaica, no member of parliament, not one, none has taken a stance against criminality, against crime, against criminals, and against criminal behaviors. Talking about it is not taking a stand against it. You do not take a stand against it until you have taken a stand against it. So I do not care how many pulpits you shout it from. I do not care how often you say it. I do not care how you reel out and spew statistics. It does not matter one iota until you have taken a stance against crime and violence. You have not taken a stance against it. Let me tell you why we know. We know because you know them, because they're in your community and they work for you. They have always worked for you. And I mean the office. They have always worked for you. You know them. You know them very, very well. They have worked for you. They continue to work for you. They knock on your door on Sundays and you give them dinner. You are hobnobbing with them because they are not all poor, you see. A lot of them are criminals that you know that they are, and you give them all kinds of titles and you talk as if they, in your living room, at your dining room table, are not criminals. You yourself, in some cases, is a criminal. As a nation, as a people, we must say to our politicians, as a nation, as a people, we must say to every single member of parliament, if you value your children, if you value the black life in Jamaica, you must hold them responsible to a large extent, and you must say to them, you know, and you must stop it. And then I call upon the church in Jamaica. You have not done anything against crime and violence in Jamaica because you think in the sweet by and by it's all going to be better. To head to church. You're going to go to church and you're going to get down on your knees and you're going to be praying, and you will also cry. And it will be genuine tears because you really feel it, but you are misguided. Jesus Christ was a radical who took to the streets. So you meet in the biggest buildings with the prettiest chandeliers and your air condition or your ceiling fans and the most expensive hats and shoes and clothes, and you're going to be preaching to each other from the pulpit and singing songs of praise. But don't you realize that the harder you sing, that the more they're attacking the churches, that your children or from your own wombs have turned on the churches, and you say that these are signs of the times. And so you have copped out. You have copped out. One of the things that the church can do in Jamaica is to hold the system and politicians and the state responsible, is to demand from them good governance, is to demand from them change, and also to be part of that change. The church has not done that. The church, generally speaking in Jamaica, has taken side with party, and they tell their congregations how to vote. Why do you think that just before every election, every potential member of parliament visits a church in the community in which they're going to be running in the constituency? You must push them off your pulpits. Why do pastors and bishops give members of parliament, potential members of parliament, the pulpit when they come in round about election time? Why do you put them on the pulpit? Why do you give them a space to speak in the congregation when you have a chance to say to them, we will work with you in this constituency, in our community, to make things different? It is simple. It is not as difficult and as complex as they are making it out to be. If people want to change, and if people want a change in Jamaica, we'll have a change. And then I'm going to talk to the private sector, who continue to secretly fund vulgarity and nastiness in Jamaica, who continue to ignore that which is positive. As long as you're getting as much out of it as possible, as long as your profit margin is what it is supposed to be, you're okay, and you squeeze the nation and you squeeze the people from many different angles. Not only that, you secretly fund political parties because you know that that is going to affect your profit margin. I say to the private sector in Jamaica, you are a big part of the problem. You must hold them responsible. If we want change in Jamaica, we must see it at the level of the private sector. Private sector in Jamaica, for the most part, is silent on crime, silent on corruption, too silent. So it tells me that they do not want change. It is in someone's best interest, or a few people's best interest. They like it the way it is, because the more we hear that the crime rate rises, the richer some people get. Have you seen the SUVs on the road in Jamaica? Have you seen the houses that are going up in some communities in Jamaica? Jamaica is a land for two kinds of people: the filthy rich and those who are wallowing in poverty. Something suits someone somewhere, and then I'm going to talk to the people in the communities. I'm going to talk to the people. I'm going to talk to you who are like me, who want to see change. We must hold them responsible, and there is a way to do it. Part of that is how we vote. Because what they have done, they have kept you largely in ignorance. Look at the education system. I talked about the graduations, and I talked about the school doors that will be thrown open and have been thrown open for many, many years now at graduation day. And the scores and the hundreds and the thousands of our young people who are rushing out into a society that is waiting to murder and stifle and strangle them and turn them into criminals. So I want to talk to you, who is a parent and who is not a parent, You in the community, what are you going to do? Because you don't like this, do you? You have been listening to the news. You are even turning off. You don't like this, do you? So what are you going to do to change this situation? We could talk about it forever, and we know that within the last 10, 15, 20 years, 1962 till now, and all we have is PNP and JLP. And we have politicians who are committed to the PNP or the JLP, but not to the people, to the 1P. But they say they are, don't it? And they tell you they are. And they ensure it's a divide and rule tactic that they use, because some of you are okay because you've bought into the tribalism. You're a member, you belong to one of these gangs, as Dr. Herbert Gale points out. You belong to either the gang, which is a PNP, or you belong to a gang, which is a JLP. And so you are okay because you get what you want when you want it. But it's a handout situation, and Mr. Warmington tells us very well how it works. You have to vote for them, or else dog nam your supper, and there's no supper anymore. So can you imagine? So we turn on each other. We turn on each other. For what? In whose name and why? Why is our children killing us? How come we have turned out a murderous generation of youth? What happened? Where? How? And why? And until we get to that point, until we stop, get to that point and change that system, change that trajectory, it's going to escalate. It's only going to get worse. We must stop that, and we must stop it now. I've been talking for a long time because I am concerned. I am heartbroken. I am saddened that our people have turned against ourselves in the way that we have, in the way that we're doing. So where are we going to get this critical mass to make this change? Are we already here? And are we already doing what we need to do? We have some critical questions to ask ourselves. What can we do to change this? At what point are we going to get up and stand up and say, no more, no more, no more? Where do we stand? How do we change this vicious system? How do we change it? Collage says, if we as a people don't stand up for our children now, we are the one to blame for destroying their future. We have to take a stance, even if we're sitting down. All right, and Collage says, our political directorate is a pigment of our society. We are one also to blame because some lost a basic knowledge of common sense. And common sense is very integral to Ma'at, common sense. All right, so Congo Crisis, good morning, retweeting. Congo Crisis, at Congo Crisis. All right, retweeting there. Also, DJ Ron44 says we all need to stand up and crime will stop in Jamaica, but some people stay silent till them feel it. And at Selector Princess, good morning, my sister, retweeting. Good morning to you, my sister. Good morning. And at Talis88 says, morning, auntie, great opening comment. Change is needed. Colossians says we need to change our mentality about people, and our school has lost the moral duty to our children. DJ Ron, okay, retweeting. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we tweeted last night is a comment from Malcolm X, where he says that the greatest mistake is to organize a sleeping people around a specific goal. He says we have to wake the people first, and then we will see action. And he was speaking about the movement over the years. The movement for total liberation has been organized around specific goals, but he says we have to wake the people first, then you'll get action. How do we wake the African mind? How do we wake the African mind? Sometimes it has to be self-reflection understanding that this is something that needs to be done, first of all, ask yourself that question about how waking your own African mind. You first of all have to identify yourself. Who are you? It's a simple question, but it must be asked. Because for us to move ahead, it's definitely our fault, because we're going way ahead now of our commercial breaks. All right, so we are inside of the Africa Forum, running Africa, and once again, acknowledging my ancestors upon whose shoulders I stand, the builders of the great pyramids of Kemet, the father of medicine, the prince of peace, and the first Christ, Imhotep, father of Pan-Africanism, Walamu Marcus Messiah Garvey, Ya Asantua, Queen Mother of Ejisu, and great warrior, acknowledging my ancestor at Shepsut, Ma'at Karu, ablest queen of far antiquity, and Chief Taichi, whom we know as Taki, who led one of the most important wars for emancipation. Acknowledging my ancestors in this space and this place of his time. Yenge, Yenge, Yenge. Interesting article in The Observer. It says the Urban Development Corporation sees the Duns River Falls as its most profitable investment, but the famous attraction's fractious little generic Little Duns River is becoming its biggest headache. Oh, well. And just as the UDC General Manager, Desmond Malcolm, felt like having the uncommon feeling of Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee approval at Gordon House Wednesday, he found himself victim of a curveball from government backbencher Joyland Silvera, which almost turned his triumph into a nightmare. Asked by Silvera what was a UDC star performer or cash cow, Malcolm did not hesitate to name Duns River Falls. He said that over the past 12 months, the vintage attraction increased its revenues by more than 30%, and the UDC was now targeting another 20% increase in revenues in 2014-2015. Malcolm told the committee that without Duns River Falls, the UDC would be in a lot more trouble. Malcolm explained that Little Duns River is not a beach, but an access to Duns River Falls, which was being exploited by unscrupulous persons, charging tourists as much as $10 or $15 to use an unlicensed property with no proper facility or security for users, and which is owned by the UDC. Malcolm told the committee, and I quote, "We learned that persons were marketing the property at Little Duns River, and we tried to stop it, but we have met resistance." That resistance include protesters led by the Otrius Ministers Fraternal, objecting to the closing down of a beach just prior to National Heritage Week last year. The UDC said at the time that it had no choice but to close a property, given the unscrupulous practices and illegal activities which were going on. The UDC said then that the public would be allowed to use the beach after control measures are implemented to ensure safety and order after it has been developed for public use. These development plans, the provision of requisite amenities, including a boardwalk for safer access to the falls, and parking to alleviate the congestion created along the roadway leading in and out of Otrius. Goodness gracious, I have to put in back the Peter Tosh because, I took it out. What did I have queued up? I don't think it's the right one. Hold on. Because I wonder, let me see. All right, I have to put in the Peter Tosh again. Let's see what's happening here. I can't say much. All I have to say to poor black people in Jamaica, Duns River Falls is a prominent tourist attraction in Jamaica, garnering, as we're hearing in that report, probably the highest, netting the highest as a tourist attraction for Jamaica. But there's another place down the road that we call Little Duns River Falls. It's not an access to Duns River Falls, it's an access to Little Duns River Falls, Mr. Malcolm. And the government, through its agencies, have been trying to push the ordinary Jamaican people, the African Jamaicans, who cannot afford the Duns River Falls, because Duns River is very expensive. You pay in US dollars. It's not for a family, but you can take your family to Belmont Cove. Change your name then, Mr. Malcolm. You have the power at the UDC. Change the name from Little Duns River since it's causing a problem. It's the same name. Call it Belmont Cove because we don't care what you call it. We still are going to use it. So change the name. Belmont Cove. I bet you anything, if that place was being used by the elite in Otrias and the private sector in Otrias, because let me tell you something about Otrias that we're going to pay some attention to. Let me tell you something about Otrias. We need to tell you something about Otrias. I am going to tell you this. The private sector in Otrias, possibly 85%, they all own, individual persons now, all own a piece of the beach. I don't mean a piece of the beach that you can see. I mean they step from their verandas, their back porches, onto private beaches, which they have siphoned off, government allowing them to do that. And they say they have bought it. What a hell when we decide to reclaim those beaches. Because if this is the way that they're going to play, then let us play. Because there's just one little bit left for the people of Jamaica, the African Jamaicans. And if this is the way you're going to play, then let us play. Because we are just claiming that little part. But we know that you have sold off much more along the strip, and that they are the private property of expatriates. You want us to start talking xenophobia? You want us to start talking about race? You want us to start talking about the oppression of the black people? Is that what you, Mr. Tourist Board, and you, Mr. UDC, want us to start talking about? Then we will start talking about it. And even at the point where you have taken away this microphone, we will still be talking about it. Because maybe, in a way, it will give us more time. Take your hands off Belmont Cove, which is now known as Little Duns River, Mr. Malcolm. And the Observer report, it's about time that we connect everything, because let me tell you something. Everything is related. Everything is connected. You want us to start talking about stuff? We know it's connected. We know that a well-placed story in a well-placed newspaper will have people doubting the hard-working people of this area. Do you think that all of us down here are criminals because we present with our black skin? Does that make us criminals because we are not presenting with white skins? Are we now criminals? I have on the phone Reverend Mullings of the Ministers Fraternal in Otrias. Greetings, Reverend Mullings. How are you?
Greetings, my dear. Greetings. I am fine, on top of the world. What a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
Beautiful day to be alive.
And a good
beautiful day.
And a beautiful
to worship and praise.
Yes, and a good day for a revolution. And revolution is change, you know, Pastor.
Yeah. Well, oh yes, definitely.
Yes. A good day for change.
Very good. Very good.
Have you seen the Observer this morning?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
All right.
I haven't seen it yet.
So can you tell us what is the latest, as far as you know, and the Ministers Fraternal know, about Little Duns River, and have you been contacted in recent times by the UDC?
Okay, we have not have any formal contact with them in recent times. We observe that they have started to build an entranceway, a staircase down to the beach. Mm-hmm. And we're thankful for that. I personally have stopped there, noticed what has been going on, and spoke with the workmen, and people are elated.
Yes.
And we are told that all they were commissioned to do at this point, that's on the contractor there, was to put the staircase down, and they're going to put a good staircase down. Yes. But as far as anything else further, they don't know.
All right.
And we have not had any word at all.
So you have not had any conversation with Mr. Malcolm of late from the UDC?
Not as far as I know, unless it is through Reverend Hemmings, our chairman, and he would have contacted us if there were anything of that nature.
All right. In the newspaper today, the headline is UDC's Duns River Dilemma, and it says the UDC sees the Duns River Falls as its most profitable investment, but the famous attraction's fractious little generic Little Duns River is becoming its biggest headache. And so you didn't know that?
No, we didn't know that.
Okay.
I cannot understand how something that is used by the general public can become a headache to a nation. What are we here for? Are we here for the people? Isn't this country for the people? And if the people are happy and to use the natural resources that God has blessed this country with, how and in God's world can it become a nightmare?
And Mr. Malcolm was speaking at the PAAC committee, and he says that people are marketing the property as Little Duns River, and they tried to stop it, but met with resistance. And he said that resistance included protesters led by the Otrius Ministers Fraternal, objecting to the closing down of the beach just prior to the National Heritage Week last year. And so they have not said anything to you. He goes on to tell the Observer, and I'm quoting from the Observer, that people have attacked our security guards, they have cut down the warning signs for users, and all kinds of illegal things are going on there.
Oh dear.
Oh dear indeed.
Oh dear. I think that stands to be challenged because they didn't cut down the fence. Neither did we promote anything of that nature. Absolutely not. We promote nothing of that age. We ask for and we protest for the opening of the gates so that entrance to the beach would be available to the people who have been using it for years and years and years, for generations. And that is what we protest against. Now, if unscrupulous people are capitalizing on something, that's for the powers that be to stop that. What we wanted to see and what we're thankful that has happened is that the beach is accessible to the general public at this point in time.
From the tone of this article in the Observer, and Jamaica Observer today, I think it doesn't seem that way. It seems as if the UDC wants to do something about this. My concern is that the UDC has taken it to the newspaper and that the newspaper has written a one-sided story. They have cited the Ministers Fraternal, for example. They have not. Did they contact anybody from the Ministers Fraternal for a comment?
No, because not that I know of. And as I said again, we are very closely knit fraternal, and Reverend Hemmings would have contacted us, and he surely would have contacted me. I know if there were any dialogue at all of any worth or mean on this matter, and he has not. So, and we were in communication with them this week. So I don't think they have at all.
Reverend Mullings, how far? Because obviously, we are with you all the way, and this is something that we are very, very serious about in terms of the access to this one little area that's left for the people. How far is a church, the Ministers Fraternal, willing to go to protect the people's right to use?
Doing more than staying within our four walls.
Yes.
And the people are looking to the church for moral, principled leadership, and we're not going to renege on that at all. There is a commitment. We need order. Yes, we will stand for order. We stand for principles and discipline. We will not support any untowardness of behavior or whatever on the beach. We will never, as a church group, stand for that. We will, however, relentlessly do whatever we can and use whatever influences we can to see to it that Little Duns River remain accessible to the people free of cost.
Thank you very much, Reverend Mullings. I appreciate you coming on at such a short notice. I suggest that you get a copy of the Observer, read this, and then have a talk with the Ministers Fraternal. Let us know where you're going, because where you lead, we will follow. right? But they're telling our African children in school that they are the Jamaican without saying that they are the African Jamaican. So when our daughters and our sons look around them and see the Chinese Jamaican, they can identify them. And when they see the Indian Jamaican, they identify them. And then they look at themselves and they have no context in which to identify themselves. And they proudly wear the badge of Jamaican. And that's national pride. And that's all right. Because you should have China pride too, and India pride. That's national pride. And that's okay. But what about your race? One of the reasons why they do not want us to identify who we are as Africans is that they know that to identify our African identity is to be aware of the fact that our African identity is in essence a form of resistance to the Eurocentric identity and any other identity. So if you understand yourself as an African, you can marshal your African identity to resist the dismemberment, the disembodiment of the Euro-colonial miseducation. They know that if we identify ourselves as Africans, then we immediately understand that our purpose is to resist any kind of Eurocentric ideals. And that is why, even within the school curriculum, we are forced to ignore our Africanness, our African selves, our African identity. Every time I see. That is why we have to disconnect from Africa. That's why we are Jamaicans. Because as Jamaicans, we accept tribalism. As Jamaicans, we are PNP or JLP. As Jamaicans, we kill each other. As Jamaicans, we line their pockets. As Jamaicans, we don't know ourselves, so that we'll accept their miseducation. As Jamaicans, we are their servants. Why do you think that in so many of the tourist areas in Jamaica there are no sixth forms? Do you know why there are no sixth forms in the tourist areas in Jamaica? There are no sixth forms. And they just had one the other day in Otrias, just one, just within the last 2 or so years. Do you know why? Because they want Jamaicans to shuttle them to go serve white people in hotels. So to understand ourselves as Africans is to resist that, is to demand a sixth form, is to start our own sixth forms and make our own sixth forms. To be African is to resist the education, the miseducation that they are teaching us in schools. To be African is to be powerful. To be African is to be spiritual. To be African is to reflect the cultural characteristic of the African aspirations globally, which is the aspiration for total liberation, for freedom. So help I Jah Rastafari. Time I see the wicked, my belly moves. So every time I see the wicked man, my belly moves. I know who he is. I know Kwame Nkrumah, a sergeant for Kwame Nkrumah, asks the question, do you know your enemy? To be African is to know the enemy. That is why we cannot be African. Well, all Africans are heading today to Portland for one of the biggest African celebrations in Jamaica, We Sumthing. I suggest you take your children with you. I call upon the church people who are going to church today that when it's over, head to Portland for We Sumthing. Or if you're on your way to church and you feel like stopping, stop and still go to church. Reclaiming our African identity. Every time I see the wicked man, I believe. Understanding our Africanness is critical for coming into our consciousness of who we are. Self-negated, the level of self-negation within our miseducation, because that is part of the problem. We have to look at the extent to which some of our African voices are silenced, are continue to be silenced, and now they are threatening to silence mine. I say burn that, because we understand the Africanness and the African spirituality, that we come and we go, and we come again, Chief Tai Chi Taki was here and still here. Queen Nani was here and is still here. Crystal was here and is still here. And we don't have to get too mystical. We don't have to get too mystical to talk about understanding our African identity. We understand that we move in between and among and through. We're the daughters of an earth and water, and the nursling of a sky. We pass through the pores of the oceans and the shores. We change, but we cannot die.
My blood run cold, 10 degrees below zero. Every time I see the wicked.
Want to go now to We Sumthing, where Siberia Gordon is standing by, taking our African identity and our African selves to Portland today. It's a call to action. It's a call to action. It's a call to action. Let us stand up, African people. Don't wait for Sunday mornings for us to make this call to action. Don't wait for special occasions for us to take this action. This is a call to action. Put on your Gideon boots and move. Free the African mind. Free the African mind and stop being sorry for ourselves. We are not victims. We are builders and architects and creators and the first civilization, the members of civilization. We created civilization. We are the first people. Let us free our African minds. Free our African minds. We will not take this anymore. We will not take this anymore. We'll no longer be oppressed by anybody, anywhere.
Say after me, sir.
Let's free our African minds.
I solemnly swear.
Going to be going now to a quick break. When we come back, Sabine, in Portland at Somerset Falls, it goes through all the way until sundown. Siberia Gordon is standing by and will tell us what's happening there right now. Right after that, there are some African brothers and sisters who are up in the hills in Pinnacle because they have freed their African minds and they are occupying Pinnacle. They have been occupying Pinnacle for a few weeks now. Did you know that? They're there. They have decided to make a change, to do something, to stand up for something. And so they are occupying Pinnacle. Want to go up there now? Well, we're going to go to We Sumthing first, and then we're going to go up to Pinnacle to speak to Denisha Prendergast, the young female soldiers on the battlefield, and they're standing up in the front. And they don't have any time for no cascas and a war and a fight against nobody because they understand themselves as Africans. They understand their African identity and know that the African identity is primarily about resistance to Eurocentric ideals. So here we go now. Resistance to Eurocentric ideals. Siberia Gordon. Siberia, my little sister, how are you?
Good morning. I am doing well.
I know that you must be working very, very, very hard.
Working exceptionally hard, but enjoying and loving it. I have to say, your program is amazing since morning.
Thank you very much, Sobes. And we're going to be heading there in a little while, but give us an idea of what's happening there today, what's happening at the ground. Tell our listeners exactly where you are.
We're at Somerset Falls, and everything is in motion. Stalls are being set up, and, food is being cooked. We have chocolate tea, and, it's a really, really nice vibe.
All right, and I know you have a lot of food. You just talk about chocolate tea, but we know there's an area that's designated for just food.
Yes, there is. There is a whole food section where you can get all the natural food that you want.
Yes. All right, so what kind of natural foods we're looking at today, Siberia? What's going to be there food-wise?
Today we're going to be having, there's an Indian stall that has natural Indian food, vegetarian Indian food. We have fried fish, we have drops, we have gizzard, we have African food, we have lots of vegetarian food, just anything you can think of that's natural, we have it.
You have soup and you have soup. I know.
We have
soup. And you have pudding and you have blue drawers.
Exactly, right. Exactly.
I know. We're heading there for the blue drawers, especially. All right. So, and then in addition to that now, and I hear you said the stalls are there, and then the people are now just dressing up the stalls and so on with art and craft.
Yes, they're setting up.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then the gates open at what time?
Gates open at 10 a.m.
Right. Describe to me the vibe now on the ground, Siberia. Are people trickling in? Are people coming in? And what's the weather like?
No, right now, It is nice and bright. There's a few clouds behind the sun, but the sun is right there. It's very warm.
Ah, very good. Yes.
Yes. And then right now you can see quite a few individuals coming in.
Yes.
And they're trickling in slowly right now, but you know there's going to be a steady stream. We got calls from buses that left out. They're over full. People, all roads are leading to Portland today.
All roads lead to Portland. The buses are coming from Montego Bay. They're coming from Kingston. They're coming. Tell me where they're coming from, Sobs.
They're coming from Kingston, Portmore, St. Thomas, Ocho Rios, Montego Bay.
All right, and these are just the big buses that are coming in that are already full, and then we have Portland people and St. Thomas people, and I know what it is for we Sumthing that people start out early.
Oh, I forgot St. Anne's Bay as well.
And is who shouting out St. Anne's Bay there?
Sister P in the background shouting out St. Anne's Bay.
Let me say good morning to Sister P there, so just a minute, and then you come back.
All right, no problem.
Yes. All right, we're linking with We Sumthing on the ground there. Siberia is there. Sister P is on the ground. Lots happening on the ground there at We Sumthing. Sister P,
Good morning, Andrea.
Good morning, Sister P. It's me. Want to talk to you.
That's coming here. I can't even push out the next generation.
No, we're not. No, man. No, we know it go. We know it go. We're going to come back to Superior. But I hear you shouting in the background there, so I still want our listeners to know that you're on the ground working hard. As I don't know, hear you this morning. But the next...
Well, Andrea,
yes. So how things look, Sister P?
Well, I tell you, the weather looks great. Mm-hmm. The stars are beautiful.
Yes.
We're drinking a cup of chocolate tea right now.
Oh, great.
Yes, I cannot wait for you to come. And I hear, Sister May, so the lady sent a bag for you that she wanted to take to Africa. So all of that is happening.
All right, we're on our way. We can't wait for 10 o'clock. Thank you, Sister P. Put me back to the next generation.
Okay, next generation.
All right, so we're making this connection with We Sumthing because this is one of the premier African festivals that happens on the ground here in Jamaica every year around this time in February, part of the Black History Month celebrations. And Siberia Gordon, who is actually the daughter of Sister P, who you all remember. Siberia.
Yes.
Do you know if Muta still plays your jingle? I'm Siberia Gordon.
You know, I don't know. Every time I'm here, he does it, I think, just to embarrass me. So maybe he does.
Right. I know he's going to play it again because, right. Muta, make sure you play it out there today. All right. So Siberia, this is what year? This is the 21st year? Or
24th
year of We Sumthing. It means that it's older than you. Simple.
No, it's almost older than I am.
Yes.
Don't let me date myself.
No, but you know how it is. So we have to make people know that you grew up in this. This is how you came up.
Yes.
And I know you went abroad. You studied abroad, but you come every year for this to be part of this. But we want our listeners to know a little bit about you too, so because you are also. Now, you worked with the Obama campaign earlier on. You worked in community development and so on. Tell us what you're doing now, quickly.
Currently, I am the policy director for the African American Affairs Commission. So it's making sure, I work for the governor's office in the state of Connecticut, and it's making sure that whatever we do does not adversely affect African Americans in the state, because Connecticut has the highest achievement gap in the state, where the high achieving schools are very high achieving and the low achieving schools are the schools that our people go to and they cannot even get into college. So that's my fight. I'm working with reforming the juvenile justice system and making sure that black boys go to school and not go to prison. So that's the work that I'm doing right now.
Brilliant work. Congratulations, my darling. Very, very good work that you're doing there in the United States. And back here for this, for We Sumthing. We're going to link with you again before the morning is out to get a feel of how things are developing there. But in the meantime, give us an idea of what is going to happen there today. I know Amina is coming and so on. Give us an idea of what are some of the things that will be happening there today.
Today, we're going to have Turbo Plastic, which is a band that plays all of their music on old plastic material. So old drums, old buckets. It's a nice vibe. We're going to have John Puno.
I have seen them. They're lovely. Yes.
And as usual, as you say, Uncle Muta have his African dance party. And I keep saying it's one of the nicest parties you'll ever go to.
Yes.
We also have the drum circle, where the drummers that we all grew up together. And with jam, I have a wonderful time. And we have our dancers that enjoys that I really, really enjoyed that. There's Kumina, there's Mento. And you have to, this year we've added something new. We're going to be having an all-hits band to bring in just a little bit of the pre-reggae renditions of some classics. I think it's going to add a nice vibe to it. I think
so, yes. And is Dame Gwe, the griot, the Senegalese griot, is he in?
He is on his way. He's actually on his way this morning. You know they had some bad weather in the U.S., but he's on his way. He's here.
Okay, we're looking forward to seeing him later on today. Of course, storytelling with Amina Blackwood Meeks is a big thing for We Sumthing. So that is on again this year.
Yes, definitely. She is, she's one of the pillars of We Sumthing. You think about We Sumthing and you think about Sister Amina.
Right.
And we have Caribbean Magazine that came in from Canada very early this morning to watch the setup.
Movement was fostered in Jamaica, founded in part by Leonard Howell, and Pinnacle is ground zero for the Rastafari movement, the global Rastafari movement. Pinnacle is being developed. We saw an article in the newspaper last Thursday written by the Reverend Garnet Roper, in which he said, and I wish we could get him on the line, in which he quoted from Leonard Howell, petition to reclaim Pinnacle. Petition to reclaim Pinnacle, where Leonard Howell is quoted as saying, I have not been compensated for Pinnacle. I said to myself that petition to reclaim Pinnacle, from which Garnet Roper quoted just in brief, if that is out there, and if Leonard Howell said that, then what is the noise about? Or is this part, well, I don't know, I'm not going to second guess it. It was published in the papers, and it was an article written by Garnet Roper. I haven't heard him refuting that. And I don't know, can we get Garnet Roper on the line, even for a brief minute, to ask him about that? The petition to reclaim Pinnacle, where is the document? What is the document? And because it's quoting Leonard Howell as saying that he was not compensated for Pinnacle, because I know that there's a question as to whether or not the land really belonged to Leonard Howell. Why didn't he reclaim the land? And so on. But that if he said that... All right, Denisha, give us an idea. How long have you been with the group occupying Pinnacle?
Well, today makes 16 days since we've been physically on the property occupying the space. 16
days?
Yes, 16 days since we've physically been occupying the space.
How many people are occupying Pinnacle in terms of this new group that have gone in?
Well, the numbers vary. They go up and down every day. Standard, we have at least 15 people on the property. Like yesterday, we had at least 50 additional people come through to help to clean the place, just to spend a vibe, do some reading and see what really is happening, So we have had visitors from as far as Germany, Slovakia, Japan, and we've had local visitors as well, as young as 2 months old,
And this occupation of Pinnacle, what does it mean, occupying Pinnacle? Are you there night into day, or are you there in the daytime and then move away and come back in the day? Or is it a rotation where some go, some come? How does it work?
It's both, and it's definitely all about teamwork, because majority of the people have 9-to-5s, and so they won't be able to come during the daytime, but they will come after work to come and drop off food, supplies, etc. And then on the weekend, they'll come and spend the 2 days of the weekend with us, just to give us strength. So the Rastafari Youth Initiative and Occupy Pinnacle are really leading this charge and doing a good job, hand in hand, trading off the responsibility.
Yes, because it's one of the things, Denisha, is that in all the talk about Pinnacle and so on, there's something that is happening at Pinnacle that is going not quite unnoticed, but it is understated. And it is this occupation of Pinnacle, which is a deliberate occupation of Pinnacle, that is now 16 days old.
Yes. Go ahead, Andrea.
Right, so it concerns me that we have, reports from everywhere else about everything else, and we're not hearing much about this occupation, which young people, led by mainly young people in Jamaica, who are doing this. And what's the reason for this occupation of Pinnacle?
Well, if you know the history of the occupation movement, it was started basically to try to make a statement to not just government, but also to the corporate factions about the potential that we have. Now, this Occupy Pinnacle movement, hi, sister, I really think that it is happening at a key time in Jamaica's history when we are transitioning from one trend of thought into another. Mm-hmm. And it's not surprising to me that nobody's really giving it a lot of attention, because whenever things are too radical and rebellious, people try to understate them, you know?
Yes.
And to me, I think it's a very radical move that some young people have come together. Not just young people, because we have elders who have traveled from all the way out by Westmoreland to come and chat with us. Elders who have traveled from Bubba Hill to come and stay with us, you know. So right now it's rehabilitation of the Rastafari mind that is also happening. So it's not a surprise to me that not many ones have come out.
Right. From the tweets that I'm getting this morning and from the posts on Facebook and so on, I realize that we have a lot of people listening on the internet, a lot of overseas listeners, and a lot of them are journalists. And so I want to appeal to them also to make this to be part of your news stories, part of what you report on. There's something happening in Jamaica, in this corner of the world, way up in the hills of St. Catherine, in Pinnacle, and it's young people who are occupying a space in protest, but also to say this is a space that we're occupying for justice, for equity, and for fairness. Tell us, Denisha, what do you hope to achieve by this occupation, you and the Rastafari Youth Initiative and the group?
Well, earlier last year there was an activation called Idle No More, which was being led by some Native American youth. And the reason why they started this activation was because there was an elder woman out of the First Nation tribes in Canada who sat in protest, a hunger protest in front of a library until one of the governors came to see her. Now, they were inspired by that, and it was 5 of them that started, but by the end of the journey, it was 8 of them. They traveled 1,000 miles from Quebec to Ottawa to speak to the people at the big city hall. Mm-hmm. And while they traveled, it took them 3 months to travel. And while they traveled, each community that they went to armed them with a different piece of their history, a different piece of their culture.
Yes.
So they were making a transition from being Westerners back to being First Nation again. And I think for me personally, that is what this is also about, making that transition from being a Western-thinking person to really becoming African-minded again. So,
Denisha, you just gave me goose pimples. You just because I think this is exactly where we are, and that understanding of ourselves as African-centered is an understanding of ourselves as being able to stand up and resist stuff like this, and I say to resist Eurocentric and colonial ideals and miseducation, but also to resist oppression, and that it cannot be done, and is not usually done or led, as you're doing in this case, unless we have reclaimed or reclaiming our African-centeredness and our African identity. So you just gave me goose pimples by just saying that.
So my sister, it is just the truth, you know, because as a young person who grew up in a Western land and who has traveled the world, traveled Africa, been on the earth, I realized that just like Chester Higgins Jr., we are not Africans because we are born in Africa. Yeah. We are Africans because Africa is born in us, and it's coming forward to that realization. I'm challenging myself to put my hands in the dirt, to learn how to plant. You know, it's challenging myself to learn how to chop a jelly so that I can drink. It's challenging myself to chop down trees so that we can clear a space to see what's happening. That is what is happening right now. You know, it's a very organic process of rebuilding and rehabilitating a community, not just a protest out to the government and those things.
Yes.
It's about us too.
Of course,
you know?
of course it is. And the repercussions are magnificent already in terms of what this has already changed the reality or the virtual reality in which we were existing. What this is doing is putting us on a path, on a footing towards ourselves in even while reclaiming not just our identity but reclaiming our land. So part of reclaiming our identity is reclaiming our land. And it's as simple as that. It would have led us here. Thank you very much, Denisha. What do you want to say to others who are coming? Because people keep coming. I hear from a lot of persons who are coming through, that rotating door in a way, but there's some more static there. What do you want to say to young people who have the time on their hands, who want to come by and be part of the Occupy Pinnacle movement?
I want to say be brave enough to be free. That is what I want to say. Be brave enough to rebel against the system. We're too comfortable in the system. The young people need to, especially the ones who are in school right now.
Yes.
His Majesty says education without character is a tragedy. So please do not become like some educated fools who are going to mess up our country.
Yes.
See? Please, I'm begging you. When I was in school, my aspirations were to become an artist and just to be, a free thinker, just moving through life. And now in these mid-years, I don't know if it's mid-years or what you call these years, but now the point that I'm at in my life is I realize the value of the infrastructure of school and what it can do for nation building. So I implore the young ones who are in school, don't just use school for the inside of the classroom, right? Yes. School is an experience, is a lifestyle, so please continue to learn.
All right, Denisha, thank you. Be brave to be enough to be free. We love that. We're going to be hearing from you again, and we just want to encourage others. This is happening. It's a movement that's happening. There are people who are not just talking, but they're acting, and part of what they're doing is occupying Pinnacle. There's a reason for that. Thank you, Denisha. All the best. We wanted to come up there this weekend, but we're heading to We Sumthing, and then we're going to Peter Tosh, but if it continues after that, then we'll be up there. Thank you, my sister.
And just to be quick, I hope that we won't have to push past Reggae Month and Black History Month into March.
Yes.
It's unnecessary. So we look forward to wrapping things up and moving things forward.
All right. Give thanks, my sister.
One love, sis.
All right, so the young folks are there at Pinnacle. They're occupying Pinnacle. They're reclaiming the land. I don't know if we are able to make contact with Reverend Garnet Roper about that article he wrote, but and then specifically about that quotation from Leonard Howell, petition to reclaim Pinnacle, where he says, and he's quoted as saying, "I was not compensated for Pinnacle." That is the case. The occupation, is well-deserving. It's on the way. Part of understanding our African personalities, understanding that personality embodies our historical memory, our genetic memory. Part of that is our land. Simple. All right, so we're heading to We Sumthing today. Back live with you. We're talking in this segment about Peter Tosh. We're talking about the upcoming tribute to Peter Tosh, and one of the things that's going to be happening, it's beginning, this time it's starting from Friday. By the way, let me just quickly tell you that this is being done in association, it's IRFM in association with the Peter Tosh Estate and Contractor Music Marketing, promoter of Down Sound Records that are part of this. All right, gentlemen, I suppose everybody's hearing me now. Good morning, Hotep, welcome, thank you for coming in. All right, so one new face, Dave, in the midst here.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got a new face, and so I want to start with the new face, pardon me. Is this the principal?
Yes, it is.
Yes, all right. So the principal of Belmont Academy, the event is starting from Friday this year. What's happening at Belmont?
Good morning. Good morning to the listeners.
Yes. And your name is Ryan Simpson.
My name is Rayon Simpson.
It's Rayon?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Friday, we will be having a lecture in the honor of Peter Tosh, the Honorable Peter Tosh, because we feel that it is of vital importance that the students in particular, as well as Jamaica on a whole, get the opportunity to hear about this local person who became a world icon. And he is from Belmont because he lived there for some time. His mother lived there until her passing just recently. And so it is only fitting that the community and the students on a whole, get this opportunity to talk about Peter and to listen about this great icon, this world icon.
And the school is involved in a really critical way this year, Warren, and it was for a special reason. You said to me on the phone last time that, remember, this symposium used to happen, but it used to be on the university campus, so now it is moved to Westmoreland itself, to Belmont itself, and fittingly at the Belmont Academy.
Yes. Yeah, when it started, it really started at the University of the West Indies, institution of higher learning. But then you reach that stage, but what happened before that stage? So we really would have loved to have started it from the basic school come up.
Yes.
But then here comes Belmont Academy, right in the area, and quite fittingly. So,
and we don't know a lot about Belmont Academy. I know now because we went in the first year of a tribute to Peter Tosh. Interestingly, Dave, that we almost had it there at the Belmont Academy until we said no. Well, let us do it at the mausoleum. So, so we found out a lot about the school, and it's not a school that is well known in Jamaica, but a school that's doing very, very well. Tell us about Belmont Academy.
Well, Belmont Academy was established in 2009 under the Center of Excellence scheme. And so we have been, as you said, we've been doing extremely well as a new school and as a young school. And so it is against that background that we seek to get ourselves involved in these types of events.
Yes.
And I think that someone who is maybe the most famous Jamaican from that part of the world is Peter Tosh. I think that it is important that we get ourselves involved with something like that.
All right, so Dave, tell us now. Well, no, let me just find out a little bit more about the forum itself. Who's going to be there, who's presenting, and so on, before we move on to the other activities.
Well, Warrell, you would want to tell me.
Yes. Well, we have Copeland Forbes, who is going to make a presentation. Everybody know Copeland Forbes.
And who knew Peter very, very well.
Yes. And we have Cordell Green, who will, of course, moderate the entire procedure. And knowing Mr. Green, he will also be making a presentation.
Yes.
And then we have this great gentleman who has been there with us.
That's the principal.
Well, we don't touch the principal yet.
Okay.
I soon mention his name, but create a little curiosity to the listeners.
Yes.
He was in Kingston with us at one of our launches and made a wonderful presentation. He has grown since and has now become the Custos of Westmoreland.
Okay.
The Right Reverend Canon Perrin.
Okay, all right. So he'll be presenting?
Yes, he's going to make a presentation. And I don't really want to call it artist name, but we have a nice little artist who, for reasons more than one, we will leave that name.
Okay.
And of course, we could not leave out Mr. Dave Tosh. He too is going to make a presentation.
All right, great. And this is happening on Friday, what time?
Friday at noon.
Right, at the school.
Yes.
Is it public invited or is it specifically for the school?
It is specifically for the school, but the public is always invited.
All right. Well, are other schools invited?
Yes.
All right. Brilliant. That sounds good. And persons can be a part of that. So it kicks off with that, the forum at the Belmont Academy, which, by the way, is just next door to the mausoleum. Just around the corner.
Indeed.
Literally around the corner. It's not a Jamaican talk.
Literally around the corner.
Literally around the corner. All right. So we're looking forward to this weekend because, we normally come in on Saturday. Now we have to come down from Friday. Yeah. It is what it is, So Friday, Saturday now, it's the whole day. I'm feeling the vibe in a serious way from people calling from all over the world and from here in Jamaica. What's happening in Westmoreland, Dave? What's the vibe like in Westmoreland?
Well, the vibes...
All right, we're not hearing you too well.
Yeah, the vibes, it's growing.
Yes.
It started from the very onset when we moved on there. I remember the first time we only planned on doing this event once. And at the end of the day, the only thing we could all agree is that it wasn't the end of the event. It was actually the beginning. And since then, it's been growing faster than the internet. That is the reason for us to even make it more than just a day, a one-day event, because of what is occurring. And but even the school wanting to get involved and seeing the need to have the school being a part of it and getting the youths educated towards who Peter Tosh is and creating more events because naturally it was a Sunday event, and that when you come there from the Saturday, it actually seems like there was an event occurring there on the Saturday. Scene. So the door was already open. So all we did was just utilize it. So it's
Saturday.
growing.
So Warren, tell us about Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, Friday.
We're just talking about Friday,
yes.
Saturday.
But there's an extension to Friday, because Friday, 12 noon to about 2, 3 o'clock is school, yes.
Okay.
After that, we are going to be having we have built a tabernacle on the property.
Tabernacle?
Yeah, which is going to host Jammers.
Yes.
Right throughout the year, not just on this occasion. So we are going to be opening that with a whole host of jamming. And we are going to be setting up a very special bonfire.
Yes.
Where anywhere they're supposed to can see the fire.
Wow.
And we are going to be having other things such as storytelling. I mentioned Naya Bengis, but a whole lot of activities for Friday evening tonight.
How long did it take you to build that tabernacle? I didn't even know the tabernacle was being built, and then we just hear that tabernacle built. It's a big news in the world. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, something like that comes from, it's really the heart and divine inspiration that we already talked about it among myself and brethren in the neighborhood, mainly Wolde Christos. And it just came to be in that, hey, it is the ideal time to start it. And out of nothing, we just started. We really don't go look for no help. We just mention it and people just say, but wait, so that you don't go and like, wait, no, do it. Which part it there? Who want to come help?
So which part of the property then?
Well, you're going to see it because they still don't know all of the property.
No, I don't.
So,
it's true. I don't.
It's part of where you don't know.
So Steve, is the property bigger than when I was there last time, sir? This is Steve Tosh. Is the property bigger than when I was there last time, sir? Because last time it was big.
It's a bit extended.
There you go.
And open up more to the public.
Okay.
Yeah?
I thought so. All right. So what's the capacity in terms of what the venue can hold people? The last time you had up over 10,000, right?
Yeah, we're yet to figure it out, because at the time when it was 10,000 people, wasn't even using 20% of the property.
Goodness gracious me.
Wow. 50,000.
Yes. All right, well, put on your Gideon boot. We're heading to Westmoreland. It is Belmont at the Peter Tosh. Big, it kind of have that setting.
Yeah, man, it's and there's an addition to the whole thing, because I go European festival and I never see a beach yet. and right there.
Yes, it's true.
Right there, man, is a lovely beach. So it is different. No wonder we have such a person like a Peter Tosh coming from there.
Yes, true.
Because it's beautiful. It's beyond words expressing it. Yeah.
So what would be there when people come from Friday? Because you said Friday was 2. We did cut into you then. You said Friday was 2 from 12 to...
From 12 to around about 2, 3 o'clock is at the school.
Right.
Then after that now we all journey to the property.
And really and truly it is just around the corner.
It's just around the corner.
Right. It's one after... No, around the corner, Principal?
Just around the corner.
Exactly. It's right on the turn curve. So, all right. So from the school to the property. So what happens on Friday when you move to the property?
Well, like we say, it's going to be a lot of Jamaican cuisine and a lot of food.
Goodness gracious.
Real Jamaican food.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Peter Tosh create a tea called Mintlet.
Yes.
So we are planning to present that to the people, and all of these things are free, Not necessarily the food stuff, but
yes, you have a bad food. We understand, because the entrance is free. You go free at Belmont Academy, free to enter on Friday, free to enter on Saturday.
Right.
And then what is there on Saturday?
Saturday, we really want to dedicate Saturday to the kids. As I always say, naturally children are there. Right. Yeah, a whole lot of children. I watch them run up and down and enjoy themselves.
Right.
But we want to cater for them on Saturday. So we are bringing in some rides. Yeah? And some people to paint up the kids' face and some people to just have a jolly good time for the children. Then in the evening now, we have a nice little concert. We want to feature the upcoming artists, artists who we know have the potential to be like a Peter Tosh. We want to showcase them.
Yes.
And that's the night when, I wouldn't say night because we're not going too late. We want to limit the time.
Right, because we do start at 6 o'clock Sunday morning.
Right.
The outside broadcast starts at 6 o'clock Sunday morning in terms of the broadcast itself and goes through until. So Saturday is a big day in any case.
Yeah, man.
You know, all right. We want to go to the phone lines quickly to speak with the Member of Parliament in that era, Mr. Luther Buchanan. And I want to do that right ahead of the news, which is coming up in just about 6 minutes. So if we can do that right now, it will be great. But also part of what's happening there in Westmoreland on the weekend will include the activities, will include a lot of artists, and we always have those artists. And Sunday during the broadcast and after the broadcast, you have quite a few artists who will be there as part of the event. Of course, Andrew Tosh, as part of that. Jabooks will be there. Mackie Conscious Prophecy. The Mau team as usual on the ground there. And by the way, Brother Desmond will be there this year. We said Brother Desmond. Yeah. So Brother Desmond will be there this year. Contractor, my brethren, contractor, music marketing promoter of Down Sound Records will also be in the house. Nature will be there. Hezron, Empress, Aitila Fire, Bastard Kura, Bongo Herman, the African Disciples, Mama Cafe, Exile the Brave, Helfanaya, Asfa, Kapachi, and many more. There are many more persons who will be there. My Virgin Bushman told me say he will be there also. And we are expecting, as usual, to grace the stage. And I hope he's not too tired. Last year he was so tired, but he made it anyway. But I hope he'll be able to grace the stage, Sizzla Kalanji. All right, so let me just go quickly to the phone lines ahead of the news where the Member of Parliament is standing by, Mr. Luther Buchanan. Mr. Luther Buchanan, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jamaica. Good morning, Eastern Westmoreland. Good morning to the family of the late Peter.
Right.
Andrew Tosh.
Yes, you know, Peter said, him said the man they're not dead, the man are up on earth still.
Equal rights and justice.
Yeah, man. So Member of Parliament, Mr. Luther Buchanan, I noticed that when you talk about Peter, you get very radical. That's what I like about you, you know. You become very radical with Peter, and I hope that you're radical all the time.
Well, I am.
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
I am. But I'm no bush doctor.
But you're a man standing up for equal rights and justice. All right. Well, once again, you know, the big Peter Tosh event, the 4th annual Peter Tosh event. Your own personal views about how you feel about this, Mr. Buchanan.
Certainly, as always, you know, I've always supported this event.
Yes.
Brings to Belmont in particular, Westmoreland, a lot of economic activities, but more so, it brings back the memories of a legend from the western end of the island, from the little constituency of Eastern Westmoreland. And the truth is that I really appreciate it being an annual event, and I've been looking at ways and means of collaborating with the promoters of this event to really make it what it ought to be. We have had some challenging times in terms of from where I sit, making it possible. But I'm seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, which has me upbeat, which I won't really get into the details of. But really, it is indeed a monumental occasion for us.
We're very happy to hear that. And, you know, you've been, I think, at all of the celebrations so far. I might be lying for you.
Except one.
Yes, that's true, yes. But you've always been there. And that's the thing that stands out for me, that as a member of Parliament, the event is happening and you always make it a point of your duty to be there. And not just to be there, but also to support in any way that you can. And once again, supporting in any way that you can this year. So we appreciate that. What does... You talk about the economic benefits and what it means for that part of the country. But why is it important to celebrate Peter Tosh, do you think?
Well, as I said before, Tosh is a legend.
Yes.
Tosh, in my view, his intellectual capacity is without question.
Mm-hmm.
He has contributed a lot to the music cultural music of Jamaica. He's one of those reggae icons one can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Tosh died, I think it was 87.
Yeah.
That's correct.
87, yes.
Yes, and I remember, him being along with Bob, and it was always controversial in terms of some people saying, Tosh is the best singer among the Wheelers. Mm-hmm. People been saying Bob, people saying Bunny. So Tosh has always been at the forefront of debates, constructive debates. And he himself has had very interesting interviews with the media, expounding his own ways. Today in Parliament, there's the discussion about the decriminalization of marijuana. Tosh has long time been singing, legalize it. It shows that he's a man way ahead of his time in terms of where, the U.S. and other countries are with their perspective today.
Yes. One of the things that Dr. Jalani Naya said last week when he was here was even on the way to the decriminalization, or if it gets to legalization, that certain spaces should be recognized as spaces where persons could use marijuana without fear of being charged for it. And I think a tribute to Peter Tosh under the theme Legalize It, for example, should be one of those spaces.
And I would agree with you. Wherever in the world they want to do it, and if we should get to that stage here in Jamaica, I mean, Tosh was one of the early advocates for such. I mean, so Tosh is legendary in many regards. That's why I made mention of his intellectual capacity.
All right,
and being a legend.
Mr. Luther Buchanan, I want to thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing you when we come in as usual. Thank you for your support of this event. Thank you for throwing your weight behind it. And please encourage your colleagues in Parliament to be part of this event on Sunday, next Sunday on the weekend.
I'll definitely do so and big up Area FM.
All right.
Eastern Westmoreland.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Luther Buchanan there, Member of Parliament, Eastern Westmoreland. And, of course, the tribute to Peter Tosh gets underway this weekend. We're down there from Friday in Belmont in St. James. And people are coming from all over the world to be part of this event. That is one of the things that really stands out about the Peter Tosh tribute, the 4th annual tribute it is to Peter Tosh. Other things happening on the 23rd, which we want to talk to you about when we come back from the news. For example, Poetry in Motion is happening later on in the evening on the 23rd. And also in Mandeville in Manchester, it's a Marcus Garvey Fair that's happening on the very same day. So quite a bit happening as we get to the last Sunday in the month. Lanagay Franklin Green is standing by with the local and international headlines coming up right now. Of the Africa Forum, Running African. And just before we return to the discussions on Peter Tosh and the 4th annual Peter Tosh tribute, I want to make another quick link with We Sumthing in Portland. Siberia Gordon is standing by. It is now 11 minutes after 9 o'clock, and I know things are heating up there because gates open at 10 and lots and lots to get through for the day. So I'm going to go back to speak with Siberia Gordon, who is down there to Somerset Falls. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Picking up there now. So tell me what the vibe is like on the ground there in Siberia and what's happening.
The vibe, you're right. The things are picking up. People are streaming in. The sun is now bright.
Wow.
And very, very bright. I have to have my sunglasses on, and the venue is filling up. It's filling up very nicely.
Okay, brilliant. That sounds good. And we didn't talk the last time about the entrance fees. So persons who are on their way, persons who are just putting on their clothes to come. What is the entrance fee to go in?
It's sorry, one of those small sandflies just fly into my mouth. Sorry. The entrance for adults is 800 and 300 for children. And if it's a group over 15, we have a group rate depending on size.
All right. Okay. So go in your groups, go with your family, and be a part of the event. Last time we spoke, the stalls were just being put up. Well, the people were just getting their stuff into their stalls. What's the situation now with that, Siberia, and the music, and what else is happening on the ground?
The sound system is setting up for the dance party.
Right.
All across the venue, you can see there are T-shirts, there's artwork, there is, what else can I see? There are bags strung up, there's clothes, there's earrings, there's jewelry, lots of things happening.
Because
some crochet bags, very, very nice.
Because what's happening on the ground there is that you're recreating on the ground an African marketplace.
Yes.
Right, and so
definitely, it looks like that. Once you walk in, you get the vibe, you get the feeling.
All right. Well, we're heading there. I have in the studio the sons of Peter Tosh, Warrell King, and the principal of Belmont Academy. I bet you they're all heading there. Are you all heading to Fuisinting?
Absolutely.
You hear that, Siberia?
All right, sounds good. We are ready. Yes. The sun is here and ready and waiting in Portland.
Yes, look out for them for me, please. They're coming on there. Point them to the. Okay, what do I want to eat when I go on there? Point them to the raw food.
I will definitely do that.
Yes.
Tell them to find me when they come in, and I will personally walk them over to the raw food.
All right, there you go. Find Superior when you go. All right. Okay, so thank you very much. So I think they'll get there before me because they're going to be leaving before me, but I'll be right behind them. So we're heading, we're heading that way. All right, take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Siberia Gordon there for Sinting is at Somerset Falls in Portland, and then next week we're heading next week to the 4th annual Peter Tosh tribute, and that is going to be at Belmont in St. James. We told you earlier that also next week, Sunday, will be Poetry in Motion that is happening in Mandeville, and we need some information on Poetry in Motion. Yes, as if you could send us that. Also, on next week, Sunday, the Marcus Garvey Fair is happening in Manchester, at Resource in Manchester. The Tainos, I take it, should be in already. We need some information from Valerie Dixon as to whether or not the Tainos are already in, or if they're coming in next week. Tell us what's happening. But I know these two events are happening. The Marcus Garvey Fair in Manchester, in Resource in Manchester next week, Sunday, and also next week, Sunday, Poetry in Motion in Mandeville. We need some information on that also, but next week Sunday is going to be a very, 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 very busy day in Jamaica as we round up. My brother.
Love, Rastafari, bless you, man.
Greetings.
Every time.
Greetings. So you're heading to Fuisinting in a little while. Are you on the way already?
I'm on the way, but I have to stop where the phone can pick up, as you know.
Okay.
The car can reach further, but, we give thanks.
Yes.
So we're up on the highway right now where can pick up,
All right, okay. Didn't realize that is what you were doing. But Pafai, so Fuisinting in a little while, and then we're just hearing from Dave and the brethren here that a tabernacle has been built on the estate there in Belmont in St. James. Did you know about this and hide it from me?
No, I hear that it was building, and I wonder if, because most of the virgin them is not really like a hardcore Nyabingi virgin.
Yes.
You don't see them a Bingi regular about them, so Bingi still. So I did ask my virgin to contact Aita as a virgin who know about Nyabingi, and because, a Bingi is different from when you just keep a little drumming.
Yes.
There are certain principles and things,
Okay, yes.
So the virgin go over there and give us strength, which is good,
Yes.
Because, when you say bingy, there's no buy and selling, it's just sharing and sharing.
Yes. True.
There is no shock, no this. We give thanks, but we'd like the principles still surround the tabernacle and the bingy setting. He enjoys that everything that the bingy said, I personally as an individual accept.
Yes.
We know we feel ourselves higher than the church. We are spiritual people.
Right. So, Pafai, here we are talking to you. We know that there is a history that, we don't have to go into in here, but what we know is that the children of Peter Tosh have reached out to you, and you've been having discussions with them, and the continuing result is that they've invited you to participate in this event, to be part of it as an honor to them, and this is something and also an honor to you, and this is something that you have agreed upon doing and will be doing also with your own children.
Yes, it's not all the children. It's a healing process, but you see, when I as Rastafari Virgin and Sisters, I would dirty cloth, I would dirty linen. It's not everything that's spread out in the public, because if Rastafari Virgin and Sisters have our internal problem, we like to clear it up amongst ourselves before we don't spread it out to the public.
Yes.
But it's not everything we can talk and hear, because not everything is fit for the ear as Rastafari Virgin and Sisters, but my children is not everyone. Everyone will 16 Rasta children around. I don't know much Rasta children, but some of my children them say, "Oh, Peter, this," and it's a country. But if I and Peter have been through certain things with some of my children, and there are some of Peter children who have never been through this problem.
Yes. So, and the thing what you have said, that it's a healing process. It continues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the next generation, these are my children who's going to be the next generation.
Yes.
So they'll be looking out against Peter children, my children, Peter children looking out against my children. And by the end of the day, they have nothing to do with it. My children cannot fight my fight for me.
Yes.
I have to fight my own fight. See, so I don't want children to involve, because if they are going to be the next generation of Rastafari, Virgin and Sisters, shut it up. And they're going to take on this fight. So we're the unity and the love will come amongst the other people. Then they are continue. So if you reach a stage now where, when you say Rastafari, it means head creator, which within Rastafari, it means love. I listen to the power of the Holy Trinity. But all these things are meaning in the system. But if Rastafari is the conqueror, it still means love. So it's all the love can conquer,
All
so
right. Well said.
Everyone needs to find the love. Looking at the mirror this man and look by yourself and say, when you do your black brother or your black sister something, you do it to yourself. So the only thing we have now is love, We have stop calling your brother yo, like you're back of time like you're a big dog. Tell your brother in love. Make it established around the world. And first, Rasta for them rule the world, and Rasta this. Rastafari have to first show the love.
Very well said, Pafai. And so that at the end of the day, you're going to be heading to Westmoreland. We're going to be there. We hope to see you there.
Yes.
I don't know.
And also my son Itimo, who is also a singer.
Yes.
He will be sharing the stage with Angie Touch.
Brilliant.
One who even got through certain things with Peter,
Yes.
Andrew is my son, you can't tell anyone that he grew up in my aunt's room there. And I will be sharing the stage also with Naya being there. So it's just a blessing in this sky,
of course it is. Yes, and a wonderful example being set by our elder yourself for the rest of us to follow. A wonderful example. Thank you.
And I really want to say, even though it is like this, give thanks to the I and Sister Jai, who have put out this effort to start this healing. Because sometimes when you say we forgive, I don't too believe in it, because, when you forgive a person, right, you kind of kill a man in the law of the system, and you take a second and pray and say you beg forgiveness. It's not like that.
No.
We have more call it healing. You have to heal yourself.
Of course, and we prefer that. Yes, we prefer that.
If we can find the love within I and I self, as Rastafari, remember we say we are the head and rule the world,
Yes.
So we need to find the love. Rastafari need to find the love amongst ourselves. A lot of things which is going on within the Rastafari community, I don't love it. because then, we need to find the love.
And that is why I said, and that is why I said, Profile, that you're an example. And I think when this is even discussed privately among Rastafari and among black people in Jamaica, in terms of how we got to this place where we got, it will provide almost a blueprint for dealing with other issues of how we come to the table, how we talk about things, how we talk through things. And so what you have done is really to set a beautiful example. Profile, thank you very much. I know you're heading off to Fuwasinting. We're right behind you. We'll see you again next weekend. We'll see you at Fuwasinting, and I'm sure we'll see you again next weekend in Westmoreland.
We give thanks, and we want the item for what I want to say to the Rastafari community, because true Rastas are them at the head now.
Yes.
How are we going to prove it to the world that they are the head? We have to find the love. We have to show the love. So I want everyone to just, within the next minute or so, just say love. And we could continue to use the word love. Because we used to name Sweetie Man because we say love. So we could continue to use the word love. Stop calling everything your one dog and, just say love, man. I still agitate to hear the word love, because it conquer all. Yeah, I want to see the love even amongst the Pinnacle Virgin, them, this, that. Stop spread our dirty living out in the public. Clean up ourselves first, then we approach the public.
Give thanks, my brother. Give thanks.
That's love. All right, love and blessing. And I give all my love to all my brethren, because after it announced on IRFM that Profile was going to be at Peter Tosh, I get 48 phone calls. I have to turn off my phone. So all who never go now, because no one can go through my struggles inside I.
Of
course.
Love
to everyone.
Love, Profile. Love. All right, Profile there, who will be at the Peter Tosh tribute, the 4th annual Peter Tosh tribute that will be happening in Belmont in Westmoreland come next weekend. And rejoining me in the studio, my very, very special guests, Dave Tosh, Steve Tosh, Rayon Simpson, who is the principal of the Belmont Academy. Warrell King is in the studio with us also, as we look forward to next weekend going in for the event. Let us talk a little bit, Warrell, about the expectations of the Peter Tosh estate for persons who are coming in. We know that security is in place. We know that it's going to be a big crowd. It's always a big crowd. What do you want to say to persons who are, they're going to be there. They're going to the school. They're going to be there on Friday. They're going to be there on Saturday, and then again on Sunday.
Yeah, man. Give thanks. Expectation. Most time when I find myself among this gathering, I am always expecting that the gathering would be deep, much deeper than we just been here talking. Like, for instance, in the case of a Peter Tosh, I am really expecting, I know we are going to have a very great gathering next week, but I'm really expecting that people, that the children of today who are growing up, that the leaders who say they are leading, will zoom in on the man who we are honoring, the Peter Tosh. And it's not just Peter Tosh, but many Peter Tosh. And so zoom in on him and study him, find out what he was all about, what this man was. Was this man just a ganja smoking man, or is this man just singing some little songs, or he had a mission? It's something we can learn from and be a better person and be better persons.
Yes.
This is how deep I want to take this thing. Like I said the other day when I was on the air, Peter cried out for legalize it. But Peter never cried out for legalize it, and that some guys can keep roaming out them hand middle. Him never. It was much deeper than that. It wasn't just to legalize ganja for smoke ganja. It was far deeper than that.
So the conversations, as you're saying, must be, and you use the word deep, but the conversations must include the politician, because he said, I'm not a politician, but I suffer the consequences.
Yes.
But the political nature of even saying legalize it in the 1970s against the background of how important this is for economic development, for health, which we see happening now, and these are the conversations that we're having now. As a matter of fact, the Ganja Commission itself, which was set up by P.J. Patterson, reported back for some of these very same findings. So you would want to see a broader discussion to talk about these issues in a wider context, not just about smoking it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I think it's a very good point that you have made.
Yeah, man. Every aspect of development, man.
Yes.
Because this is the only way we are going to achieve. This is the only way we are going to be successful.
I'm not quite sure who we have online, but we have someone online. Hotep?
Good morning, Andrea.
Okay, who we have online?
This is Nicholas.
Nicholas, I never recognize your voice. All right, Nick. Good morning, sir. This is Nicholas Evans, one of the team members here at IRI FM, strictly dealing with on the Peter Tosh event, assisting with the marketing, assisting with the organizing, assisting with almost everything. Are you the leader of a team, sir?
I thought that was your post.
You know, it's an interesting leader, and I'm leading in such a way that I think I'm the leader. Right. Yeah. All right. So, Nick, you know, we're looking to a beautiful weekend from IRFM's perspective. Your own point of view on this year's celebration tribute to Peter Tosh.
Well, I'm really excited, Andrea. I'm really excited about what to expect, what we're going to Westmoreland to do. Basically, based on the past, we watch a first year relatively good, a second year really massive people from all over the world coming out to be a part of the celebration. And I know the word is spreading. Those who came would have gone back and told others, and I know they will be coming back as well. So I'm really expecting, really massive celebration with people from all over the world, people from all walks of life. And this year, especially with the whole process of legalizing or decriminalizing ganja, marijuana, and whatever you want to call it. And our theme this year, I think it's going to even make for a more interesting discussion and more interesting Peter Tosh celebration.
Of course. And Nick, this is something that we really enjoy doing. Very challenging, but we really do enjoy doing it coming from the RFM perspective. It's a pleasure working with the Peter Tosh Estate. And we have on board with us Contractor Music Marketing.
Definitely, Contractor Music Marketing come on board, and they too will be providing some of the entertainment. I know Contractor themselves will be one of the entertainers, Nature, and we are told we'll be having Brother Desmond as well. You won't be Ninja Man for that function, Brother Desmond.
Right, and you're making it a point, as I did earlier, to say that Ninja Man is not coming as Brother Desmond.
We know what we know that Brother Desmond is very versatile. We know what the Peter Tosh celebration is all about, and we want to keep it that way. When you look at the lineup, the prophecy, and Droop, Lion, and all of those people, we know the line of the celebration, and we're definitely going to keep it that way. It's a cultural affair. It's something refreshing that people come out to see. It's something you can bring your kids. It's something that the grandma can come to. It's something for everybody, and most importantly, it's very educational. It's not a dance. It's not a party. It's not a stage show. It's just a little of everything: education, entertainment, food. It's not one of anything. It's not one of anything. It's as complex as Peter Tosh himself. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And I don't know if there's any other festival in Jamaica which is like that. You go and it's like a marketplace. You can buy your indigenous food. You can get T-shirts. African literature. Just about everything. Is one of those places that you come from morning and you're leaving at night, and you're definitely not bored. There's something for everybody. I do hope they have those sweetness berry this year that they had the year before.
But that's a very good point. As simple as it might sound. Is it Nesbury time in Westmoreland? Can anybody tell me? Yeah. Oh, it is, Nick. It is.
It is.
Yes,
okay,
we're right on time. Yeah. But we're happy to have Jabooks on board this year. Obviously, Andrew Tosh there every year. Mackie Conscious is there. You talk about Prophecy, who is just coming from a Sigma run, and I think probably heading to We Sumthing to move to the Peter Tosh tribute next week. More Warriors, and you talk about Brother Desmond and Nature. Also in the mix, Hezron, the Empress Itila Fire. We're very happy to have her on board this year. Bonga Herman and so on. The African Disciples, Mama Cafe, Exile the Brave, and so on. So many persons. We won't be able to call all the names, but quite a few.
One of the things I like, Andrea, and I mean, it was especially so last year, and I know it will definitely be the same or even better this year.
Yes.
I mean, the family, the second and third and, I don't know, fourth generation of Peter Tosh. I mean, they were children from all over, grandchildren, and the family, the extended families of children and grandchildren and all of that. You know, it was such a wonderful feeling to
Let me just ask
see
Dave,
the family.
we know Neamba is coming in and others. The family coming in this year?
Yeah, most definitely. Everyone will be there.
Yeah, man, the entire family will be there, Nick.
And it's still growing every year, the family grows too.
Yes. You hear that, Nick?
It's like a family reunion, I mean, with Tosh family, and we are all there in the mix, and everybody just being everybody enjoying themselves, and you know, it's really something. I mean, wherever you are in Jamaica, if you want a true, clean, nice festival to be a part of, I mean, something easy going, I mean, you know, the Peter Tosh celebration, Sunday the 23rd is really something you would want to be a part of. You know, I mean, for those churchgoers, I mean, it's one Sunday out of 52. You can sacrifice this one to be a part of this. And if you are in Westmoreland, I mean, you know, you can adjust the church time if you're a church person.
You can do both, man. You can go before.
You can do both.
But Nick, let us quickly talk about the outside broadcast itself, because what time do we start broadcast?
6. We start at 6 and we go up until 11:45. Live on here. We stop just about where the midday news will come.
Right. That is the outside broadcast itself.
That is the outside broadcast segment of it, where we'll be live on here. Everything that we say and do will be live on here. And performances and everything.
And you as one of the co-hosts, Muta Baruka, our co-host this year. Muta is now at We Sumthing. He'll be there in Westmoreland next week, and we're bringing this to you, the whole thing live again. Running African, as we say, we're taking up the big bad Shockwave.
Shockwave, yeah.
And we're putting it down there. And Dave, just tell me that, you know, the venue is probably twice as big as we saw it last time, maybe more, in terms of what work has been done there. So
and that is it, Andrea. When we went the first year, you know, it was prepared for us. By the second year, it was extended and all of that. And you have to give you have to say congratulations to the Peter Tosh family, how they have capitalized and ensure that the thing is moving and expanding and really highlighting the Tosh estate.
Of course. All right, Nick. So we're getting ready to move in and to go down and to move into Westmoreland, to move into the Peter Tosh Mausoleum and to be part of the activities. We start broadcasting once again at 6 a.m. Sunday morning. And we're also going to be streaming live on the internet, I take it?
Yeah, man, definitely. We'll be streaming live on the internet for those people overseas who can't make it. I mean, it's not too late to book a ticket, but if you can't make it, definitely... we'll be streaming live on at irfm.net, so, you can see what is happening and look.
All right. Thank you very much, Nicholas Evans, Marketing Executive here at IRFM. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
All right. So that's it. I mean, it's really a big deal. Come next week, Sunday, we have so many more persons to talk to. We want to go to the phone lines to speak with Nyambe Tosh, who is a daughter of Peter Tosh. She'll be heading.
Well, you have a major hotel there, Sandals Group, of course.
Yes.
And they have a lot, there's a lot
They do not take children.
Okay. But there's a lot of small hotels.
Yes, and guest house cottages.
Yeah.
In the area?
Yes, the Bluefield area is really known for that.
Okay, all right. So what should persons do when they want to come in and overnight and so on? Just call... Just look at the directory and just...
Yes, look in the directory, hit the internet.
Or the internet, yeah.
Information.
Because I know it's not so easy, though, because we've been doing it in terms of trying to find accommodations.
Right. And what we have out there as promotional material, we have numbers, so you can always get in touch with us, too.
Right, and we're looking... exactly, and we're looking forward to the Peter Tosh estate, condominiums and hotels and so on later on.
They've started already.
Yeah, because you're coming for this, you must be able to stay at the Peter Tosh Hotel.
Yes. One thing that will happen this year is that 1 or 2 students would benefit from something relating to the Peter Tosh estate. I don't know that I want to announce exactly what it's going to be yet.
You don't have any choice now because you're introducing it.
Well, it will be in the form of a scholarship, right?
Okay.
And that will run shortly after this event.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just add that the event has grown so much over the 4 years that we're going to have to find some additional parking spaces. And so the academy will be, a ground that persons can park.
Oh, that is brilliant. That's brilliant. And as we keep saying, it is very, very near.
Yes.
Right.
And it is.
So parking this year is, you come in as usual and you go through and go around and.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a main gate and then you have a.
Not hearing you so well, Dave.
We have a main gate and then we have an additional gate for access to the parking area.
Okay.
So once we won't be expecting anyone to park on the roadside like they did last year, and I don't think the authorities will be tolerating.
No, don't park on the roadside. There should be adequate parking, and we hear the principal for Belmont Academy, Mr. Simpson, saying that. The academy, the grounds. Is it this year that the grounds will be available for parking?
This Sunday.
This Sunday. Thank you very much.
Sunday coming.
Right.
Yes.
So for persons, if it so happens that we need that additional, then the Belmont Academy is just down the road. Will be open for that.
And if you know anything about Belmont Academy, it is a very safe property
and beautiful.
Yes,
very, very beautiful. All right. On the phone lines, Nyambe Tosh. Good morning, Nyambe.
Good morning, Andrea. How are you?
We're doing very well. I have the entire team in the studio. Your brothers are here. The principal for Belmont Academy, Warrell King, is in the studio. And I understand that you're coming in and the rest of the family are going to be coming in midweek?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so that's going to be a big flight coming in. All right. So, Nyambe, what additional can you tell us in terms of the overseas support in terms of people coming in for the Peter Tosh celebrations?
You know what? The buzz has definitely gotten around, and so I've heard from people like Robbie and Shakespeare interested in trying to get down there, and lots of people just from actually around the world. We just broke 1 million Facebook followers this past week. Wow. So I have people reaching out from literally all over the world, from all continents.
Yes.
Trying to make it down this year.
That sounds very, very good. I think this year, we were just talking, among ourselves, my colleagues and myself, earlier this week about the capacity crowd that we had last year, and we it was conservative estimate. We say it was about 10,000, and people are still arguing about that. And it seems to me as if we're tapping into more than that this year. And we hear that the venue is extended and so on. But a big part of this, and we noticed that last year, were visitors to the island. What kind of, it seems as if, in addition to what IRFM is doing in terms of our own marketing, but it seems, I must commend the Peter Tosh estate, because it seems to me as if you're also right now doing some serious marketing. You talk about the social media and so on.
Right. We have, like I said, our Facebook page is 1 million followers. We have it on our website, our petertosh.com website. We have also an Instagram, a YouTube page. We have it all as far as the social media is concerned, and so we definitely do lots of marketing on all of those outlets.
Mm-hmm. All right. In terms of what persons can get, because people are going to come in and talk about merchandise and so on. What's the extent of the merchandising in terms of what people will be able to pick up in commemorating Peter Tosh when they get there?
Well, we've expanded. We have T-shirts now, and so we also are trying to promote people to go, to the website, because I know that Jamaica is a cash economy, and some people don't like to carry cash. So we have Wi-Fi right on the property, so people can come. They can order anything that they want, and then there's lots of vendors that are supporting the efforts, and we have lots of different artifacts and arts and crafts artists. With paintings and such, and so there's a lot that people can really come and get from feeling like they have that something special commemorating my father.
Because one of the things, Dave, last year is that every person who came up to me, every single person without fail, who I ran into last year said, "May I have a Peter Tosh T-shirt? Where can I buy a Peter Tosh T-shirt?" I know somewhere on the ground, but it seemed as if it just was not enough.
Yeah, well, right now, and
not hearing you too well, Dave.
Yeah, that is one of the things we're putting in place, making sure that the T-shirts will be there and they will be at an affordable rate.
Yes.
So the buying public.
Because for many people, the Peter Tosh image is similar to Che Guevara.
Right.
It holds that kind of revolutionary feel.
See.
All right. So Namba, we're really looking forward to seeing you when you come in and to see the entire family and also. I know that when you come, you normally mingle with people, you normally talk with people. I think by now a lot of people know you. But to say to the entire family, we see that happening, and this is really brilliant to have the Peter Tosh family doing this at the level at which they're doing it. So congratulations on that. We look forward to seeing you when you come in, Niambe.
It'll be coming in on Wednesday.
All right. Okay. See you then.
Yeah.
All right,
okay. Thank you, Andrea.
All right. Okay. So it sounds good. And looks good. We wanted to talk to some of the artists, but what we want to get in, with the person we want to get in quickly is one of our sponsors, Contractor Music Marketing, who has ensured that he's part of this event. It's really for us a very expensive venture, and we do have to say that. So that as many sponsorship as we can get, it's going to be it's critical. One of the things that we have found though is that for events like these, that the private sector does not necessarily get behind these events as we expect. It is true, isn't it, Warrell?
Of course, ask me about it.
Yes, so that a lot of it is a labor of love. And so when someone, or a company, gets behind the event, we have to acknowledge that and to say thanks. So we want to speak with Contractor from Contractor Music Marketing right now. And he's not just one of the sponsors, but he's coming in with some of the artists from the label. So he has Nature, and of course Brother Desmond and himself, and others who will be there. So we're going to have a quick chat with Contractor. Contractor, greetings, my brother.
Morning, Jamaica. Morning, running African,
You sound very excited. And we're very happy for that. Thank you for coming on board as usual, Contractor. You're always doing that, and we appreciate that.
Well, when you say Peter Tosh, you say rebel, you say militancy, you know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
So we have to support those good things,
Yes. And so this year, you're once again on board with us, but you're not just on board just as a sponsor. You're also coming in, and you're also going to perform along with some of the persons from your team. Talk to us about that.
Well, Contractor have a small catalog of tunes, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And when I think about it, I was listening to you this morning, and some of the things you have to wear. You know what I mean? We need to stop this crime and killing one another and use our energy more positive. So if you and a man have a conflict, you talk it out. Yes. You know what I mean? Because, see, Syria, France, America, Russia, they're all fighting over Syria, billions of dollars. And what them do? Them talk.
Yes.
Them talk. So if we, you know what I mean, we have like thousands of dollars at stake sometime, and we're killing each other. So, you know what I mean, when you say IRFM, Running African, and then positive thing, man. You call Contractor, you call Down Sound, call the Down Sound family, Brother Desmond, Nature, and, you know what I mean, we just come make it a good time and a good show, and it's an honor to be a part of it. I'm glad 7.5 away,
And we're glad say you accept. And that you're coming in, Contractor Music Marketing Promoter of Down Sound Records. We said earlier that Brother Desmond is coming, and of course Brother Desmond is Ninja Man himself. What can we expect from Brother Desmond?
Well, him is a man where him say anything I FM I do, anything I FM I keep.
Yes.
Him want to be a part of it, you know. So the IRFM road shows, he was a part of it last year, and you know, it was asked of him that, well, when you come to this show, you know, Peter Tosh is a spiritual man.
Yes.
So when you come, you can't come like a street man. You have to come with the best energy that you have to give.
Of course.
So
yes.
you know what I mean? It's about if you say Brother Desmond, that means you have to Christ, and Christ is in Halloween, where we can bring out that. So make we bring out the Christ in Halloween and put on the badness.
Right, and of course nature will be there, Revolution, I mean a wicked tune, nature will also be performing.
Yes, man, nature is up and coming rising star, you know what I mean? He's very humble, and he sings some tunes where people can hold on to the world peace, the revolution, and it fit perfectly in this package with, you know, the Andrew Tosh, the Jabooks. It's just a good alignment, the Mama.
Yes.
Every artist where you have on it is deserving.
All right. Give thanks, my brother. We look forward to seeing you on the weekend in Westmoreland. Thank you, Contractor.
Bless up.
All right. So Contractor there from Contractor Music Marketing, promoter of Down Sound Records. How is sound, Principal?
Excellent. I have
That's an A+, you know.
Yes, I have to big up that company, because we often find that these people, corporate Jamaica, you know, are very reluctant to help in these causes. And it's a shame.
It is a shame.
Because this is the only way we can build a nation.
Yes.
We talk about Peter Tosh from time to time, and we talk about rebel music. But there is just so much more about the man. I mean, Peter Tosh delve into health consciousness, philosophical debates, religious issues, racial pride, human rights, economic advancement and development, individuality, independence, and of course, he was a musical genius. We all can learn from this man.
Of course.
Yes.
And well said. Well said, and I think this is what Warren King was also saying earlier, that when we talk about him, we have to go into those areas, the social, political sides of Peter Tosh, as we go now to the phone lines where my brother Jabooks is standing by, Angola. Jabooks, my brother.
Hey, Princess.
Hail, my brother. Well, go on, man.
I'm there, I understand.
All right, we're looking forward to next week. Would this be your first Peter Tosh? Were you at the other tributes?
No.
Well, we're happy to have you at this one, you know, because the time is right and nothing before the time.
Yes, sir.
Right. Since we're not going to play the music live, you're going to have to just sing a little part of it for us in the meantime, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, man. You know? Go ahead, man.
Kalangola, upon my African Gola, Kalangola, oh. Kalangola, Pasasamalangola, Kalangola. Me burn the fire from Babylon. Me not take no chat from Babylon. Cause you corrupt, they get the youths with no wickedness, with no Babylon. When me walk, I trample down Babylon. Kakarot down Babylon. Oh no, Valvies, they have with your clans and plans. One come track Bingy man. Think no can come take Mama Africa from Bija again.
Serious business.
Oh no.
Jabooks. Serious business, man. We'll look forward to you at the Peter Tosh celebration on the 23rd. We're not joking. Live on stage and a serious thing. And we said earlier, you know, the man are not dead, the man are dead, but still, because it's a spirit, you know, it's a spirit of revolution, it's a spirit of rebellion, it's a spirit of existence, it's a spirit of understanding who we are. And this is what you're doing in this time, my brother, standing up in the space and just carrying on the work. So we look forward to seeing you at the Peter Tosh celebration. Give thanks, brother. We're not for asking nothing else. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah, man.
Sir.
Give thanks. All right, so Jabooks will be live on stage there. All right, Prophecy just coming in from the Sigma Run, and I think heading off to Fuisinting before we head to the Peter Tosh celebration. Prophecy.
Bless the love, Sister Andrea.
Prophecy, I go hold them
in this time, as always, yeah.
All right. Yeah, man, so what going on, Prophecy?
You know, so we're there to the ground in a perfect sound, in a certain weakness, and Jah rise to greatness.
So how you
now, shout out to IRFM, I want to say a wide respect the Rastafari community as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Oh, you did in the Sigma run?
Well, the Sigma run, I did 5K in 17 minutes. You know, it's a part of your Virgin Talk contract talk about Peter Tosh health consciousness. I'm always aware of that, so we try to keep fit, not just to get at it, but really to preserve the legacy of what we're doing also, you understand?
Yes. So, as usual, I mean, the Peter Tosh, the tribute to Peter Tosh is something that you have been supporting since the beginning. Just look back at last year and tell us what you're looking forward to this year.
Well, I'm looking for greater awareness. You don't know, we as a people, you know, more cohesiveness as a people, said speed again. The music is always there representing, and the strength of the music as contract, again, from nature, job books, you don't know, no exception from prophecy, because you sing things that people can really hold on to really give them strength in this time. So it's always good to be there, you understand, exercising the fundamentals and putting things into practice, you understand?
All right. Touch with one little piece before you're going to prophecy, 1-2 line.
Well, I've seen what Jah has done for man. Yes, and in return, look what man has done to creation. Well, I said if Jah was just like man, yes, man, then don't ask and watch such your own calculation. Peter Tosh said, too little love in this world, mankind. And I said, too many wars will only complicate the time.
Hold it, prophecy. Hold it.
The line that you try. And I cry when you lie. No one prophecy.
No, man, leave prophecy. Leave it till later. All right, we'll see you next week, brother.
Blessed Evangel, blessed people across the world. You don't know yesterday, today, tomorrow, the same prophecy. Perfectly.
Give thanks. Also coming in, and we're going to do this really fast. We're going to have a quick chat with Mackie Conscious. Mackie Conscious, I'm so sorry, we're totally out of time. While we wait for Mackie Conscious to come in, we have to wrap up with our brothers in the studio because of the time. I'll just get some final words from you, Dave Tosh, as to, you know, just say a final word to the people who are going to be coming in, what is going to be happening down there in Westmoreland and so on, what's going on now.
Well, one of the big things, Mr. Waga, right now, I heard you and Nicholas wondering if people going to be in church next week Sunday. Well, I just hear Jabooks call all of them out of church next week Sunday.
Call and go. All right. Mackie Conscious. No, the Empress Attila Fire. Empress, my sister.
Best of love, Andrea. How are you?
Yeah, man, we're cool. We're not playing music in a long time, so I'll give the listeners just a quick piece of what it is. The famous one where we always play.
Well, first of all, I give thanks for being on Peter Tosh show because he's a man where I look up to and inspire me and inspire everybody else. So just, prepare for Attila Fire,
Yes.
Yes. Tried it over hills and over valleys. Tried it in the sun or in the rain. Keeping eye love for identification. For lots of things shall get the complaints today. Now you're being tried it on. Andrew Williams, bless up yourself.
He's one of the best voices.
Same way.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, Empress. Give thanks. We look forward to seeing you on stage on Sunday. Thank you very much. Appreciate your input.
Bless you, love, Rastafari.
Right. Sorry to be rushing, but we're out of time. And our final person we're going to be talking to on the phone lines. We've got Mama. All right. We're going to do this in 2 minutes. All right. Let's go to Mackie Conscious. Mackie Conscious. Sorry to be rushing, but you know it, girl. You're a member of the family.
Andrew say you can't be a king and you're not royal. You can't be a friend if you're not loyal. Yeah, when it comes to Peter Tosh, for me, it's giving back.
Yeah, man.
Peter Tosh has made me who I am in this music business. Cause me, the thought of Peter Tosh and listening him and hearing him all these years make me write all these songs that I do. And the performance I do, I used to listen to Peter Tosh. A CD or a DVD when I'm going to do a show like Reggae Song Fest.
Yeah, man. Conscious youth long time. Mackie, give thanks.
So to be a part of this, I will be there and I will be unleashing the new songs of your upcoming album. It's a regular album.
Give thanks, my
brother.
brother.
Plant some trees and other songs.
All right. Give thanks. Looking forward to that. Mackie Conscious live. See you, Mackie, my brother. All right, long-time warrior in the struggle. Let me just have a quick link with Mama, and we're going to wrap things up right after this. The Big A comes on with the Sunday Sunshine. Mama Warriors. Mama Warriors.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Turn the radio off. I am. Momo.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sister
man.
Anja.
Give thanks, my brother. How you doing?
Greetings,
Yes,
greetings, Antikavo. Boy, I tell you, some man in the place, light up.
I tell you.
Westmoreland, good next week. Remember, I tell you,
Westmoreland, good next week.
But that's why I said, Sister Anja.
Mama, I know you're doing, man. I know you're doing. Touch with a little piece now, make we move on.
We are from Trenchtown. We are from Trenchtown. And no one can push us around. No one can take us for clowns. We're lawyers, we're doctors. Just leave a little bit there.
Leave it.
Yes.
Mama, my brother, we'll see you next week. Next week. Yeah, man. Give thanks. Want good. All right, Warrior, it sound good.
Yeah, man, it sound better.
So Warrior, just a quick final words from you, my brother.
Shall be no final words. Give thanks to the people. Give thanks to all the supporters. And we look forward together. As the Almighty said, let us all together give thanks.
Yeah, man. Remember, all roads lead to Belmont in Westmoreland next Sunday. Well, remember now, and we have a principal here from the Belmont Academy, that Friday is the forum, the symposium at the Belmont Academy. Does it have a title? Is there a title to it, or it's just Peter Tosh?
A tribute to a local hero.
All right, brilliant.
Peter Tosh, yes.
How you teach your children about Peter Tosh? 1 second.
Well, you see, there's just so much that we can teach them about Peter Tosh because all the artists that you've listened to this morning have spoken about the influence that Peter has had on their lives.
Yes.
We also remember Lucky Dube out of South Africa who made a career out of the Peter sound.
Of course,
you
yes.
know? So,
and said so.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. So we know about Peter Tosh as a cultural icon. The unicycle is always something that is just a big thing.
Yes, it's something to aspire to.
It's aspired.
Because we still can't ride it.
Exactly. and finally, you know, Peter Tosh, his gun was his guitar, a tool that he used to better his life and himself and his family.
All right, give thanks. And that's the principal of the Belmont Academy. Would you get a little piece from you? So just we're going to go back to Steve and then just come back to you. So Steve, you're always in the background, but a very, very hard worker. Any quick final words to persons who are coming in for the event on the weekend?
Well, just looking forward for the turnout and everybody will have a good time.
Give thanks. Yeah, man. We're looking forward to that, too. Enough things to do in Westmoreland. So, Dave, finally, it's always good vibes. Once again, just tell people, that there's safety things in place in terms of parking, in terms of security, in terms of, just preparing.
Well, we step up on everything this year, and like you say, in terms of parking, making sure that people are secure. The venue, you already hear about the artist that is going to be there, plus some that you don't even know coming in.
And quickly describe the venue.
Well, like I said, it's...
No, I mean in terms of how it look.
It's green grass, everything is there. And,
it's more than that. Dave, you have a tendency to... in green grass, Dave, have a tendency to... Yes, Steve. Tell me, Steve.
Tranquil and nature.
Tranquil, man. Warrior, know what it is beautiful.
Yeah, man, every year we transfer.
Because you're born and good, Dave. You don't realize how we are when we come here, man. You're used to it, man.
It's not ordinary, man. I know one day we have two local special tree the way I go see. It's not ordinary, trust me, it's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Because I'm used to it, Warrior. You're born and good, I don't know no better. But this one we come in there.
You see it every day.
It's a little piece of heaven, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And the people might come feel it too.
Yeah, man. The mountains at your back and the sea at your front and by your two sides is just beautiful.
You don't want to leave, man.
And what I like about that is that you have not cut down the trees.
Yeah, and that's what make it work, because people want the canopy of trees make it feel comforting for people during the hot sun.
Yeah, man, leave the trees, man, and let them go. All right, this is how we say goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you all. We'll see you next week. Give thanks. We're all of us you see inside here, we're all heading to We Sumthing right now. And then next week, we see you in Westmoreland, Belmont, Westmoreland, at the Peter Tosh Mausoleum. We broadcast live from the Peter Tosh Mausoleum beginning at 6 o'clock on Sunday. See you then.
Chris Dogo, Why you can give me a minute to make a talk to your listeners, them? Yeah, man, this And you talk the Muta listeners from Jamaica, US, Britain, and the world, you know. Especially the one them with on YouTube and Butte-based and Roman channel. You know, for over 20 years, Muta, I highlight problem them and I get solution. But you know, I face black people, but Muta alone can't do it alone, you know. But all we do, as them listening, we do, we talk and we complain amongst ourselves and pass blame and I wait for government, white man, rich man, and Jah and Jesus to solve them. Black people, if you know, say, and a responsibility that other people solve them problem, you know. If you know, say, the man we have been put by his neck, now take it off and let you lick it off and pump him in the face and step in a thing short. Government has do good, you know. Because you see them a drive Pajero. And the regular artists, them alright, because them don't make it. And you see them a pop champagne, flat BMW, and a be a big mansion, but, you know, them not be no factory for employ, you know. The problem that I face, working and poor class, don't affect them. I can't believe how fool on the be, you know, they're wait for same people who cause the problem to fix it. We complain about foreigner, buy up Jamaica, but instead, we buy up Jamaica, we buy up foreign goods. You don't know where no things say then get the money from. I see your money when you buy them goods then use back and come buy up Jamaica to use against you. We complain about Monsanto, but we shop at the supermarket all the time. And we don't even try to create our own supermarket that we sell our own organic food. So we leave it up to them to solve our problem with them create. Marcus Garvey say, if you can't do what other races do, you know, you don't deserve to die. And that is exactly what happened to me right now. If you can't own the wholesale like the Chinaman, you don't deserve to stay poor and jobless. If you can't own the multinational like the white man, you will stay at the bottom of the political and economic system and big IMF. If you can't own the big farm like Monsanto, you deserve to die from cancer and death of famine. Muta give you no solution to your problem. But Muta, you alone don't have the money to solve a big problem, yeah. So if we put the money together, we can create the big man, big corporation, or big business that will represent our interests and agenda to work to solve our problem. I say, we don't say already, you know, if 1,000 Muta listener put $1,000 US, that's $1 million US, 100 million Jamaica can set a foundation, start a business. We are going to invest in building and expanding black business like farm, supermarkets, car creator, transportation, etc., which will provide wealth and jobs amongst our own by ourselves. Talking and complaining is good, you know, because they highlight the problem. But it's time to build business and structure to solve the problem that we complain about so much. Every race have them structures set up. That is why you can see Chinese come from China, set up shop, and start it out with all Chinese meal. All of that man know to do is just be a buyer. You can't even blame the Chinese, you know, because they're not doing it for yourself anyways. My solution, I know the be all and all, but it's one thing that is in your power to do and can create a system that will outlast us all alive now, you know. Muta is the only man in Jamaica I feel that is trustworthy. That is why I'm willing to invest $1,000 US in him to set up a business to build our system. There must be at least, you know, 1,000 of him listeners who believe in real self-reliance. If not, I guess black Jamaican is doomed to want to be beggars. $1,000, I don't know, you know, why? Because, you know, Jamaicans spend more than that on ganja, liquor, bleaching cream, clothes and car and big house, etc. In overconsumption. If you don't have 1,000, then you know what? Can't get 10 people to join you as one then. So we want all the serious Muta listeners them to email muta@irfm.net. Call up and tell them say, oh, you're ready to invest in him to build a phone system. So that means want to the people in Muta.
Blessed man, give thanks. That sounds serious. That sounds very, very serious.